feel about government agency meetings? Wait, I'm sorry. I think that's my ears. Oh my god, I had those headphones on so long. It feels like I was going deaf. Okay.
Oh, so, what do you mean by government agency meetings? Because we already have the G8, which covers most of them.
No, yeah, but like more local, because the only time that, you ever see us come over here is just if we have a coworker in the hospital, like, or there's an event and it's just like, hey, so we need someone here at this event to make sure everyone's okay. But it's like, when does City Hall, like, ever come over here? Like, we would hear about things that happened to you guys secondhand. I think one incident that was mentioned was something with the Vagos, and like, employees in the hospital were kind of pinned down and stuff. It's just
Oh,
like, that's
yeah.
awful that happened in our city.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have shit over at City Hall too. I mean, it's just we are a little bit more we have a lot more interactions with gangs than you guys do. I mean, we treat everybody, so we're bound to have some shit roll up, overflow from gang violence and everything that gets pointed at us. But that's being taken care of through. I think Amber has a bill about it going
Yeah.
through, and then I know some of the federal laws are changing about it too.
Yeah, the Pomp Act.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I just, yeah, I mean, if you want like hangout sessions, like, yeah, sure, we can set some up and we can all get together and shoot the shit and everything like that. That's fine. Also, it's hard for us to. I feel guilty leaving, right? Like I'm here, I'm on duty. Like I feel bad unless I'm going out on a call, like going and hanging out over at City Hall. Like I know that like there's Tequila Law was just open and I was over here the whole time. Like yeah, sure, I could go hang out with everybody too, but I feel guilty if somebody walks in here and I'm not here, but I'm on duty. You know what I mean? So that's just it's a me thing.
Well, no, I think we should definitely all have days where we're just like, okay, so I'm just gonna clock out, and then I'm sure the building's not gonna ignite itself on fire for one day. I'm just gonna clock out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go have some fun. But no, this is just like regular communication, because I feel like the departments don't communicate too much between each other. Like,
I
we never
mean,
know what's going on unless, someone was here witnessing it, and it's just like, hey, did you hear what was going on over there that day? It's just like, no, no, this is news to me.
yeah, I mean, I get it. I think it's okay that there's a little bit of separation so we don't all like I don't know, we're not all lumped into one, if we're all up in each other's businesses and everything like that. I don't want citizens to think that we're one giant thing when we're not. PD's separate from us and we're separate from City Hall. City Hall's separate from PD. I mean, if we want to get together and kind of do rundowns on like a biweekly basis or something like that's fine.
Yeah.
But that should be kind of done through the mayor, you, myself, and the sheriff with the G8 meetings, right? That's our chance to kind of go over everything, and then we should filter that information down. Um, but also, I mean, we're all friendly, so like I have no problem with Ray going over there when shit happens here, or and talking to you guys about it to a certain extent, and vice versa. If shit goes down at City Hall, you can always stop by and let us know. I hear a lot more than people realize I do. I think as well.
Yes. Like, just passively walking by. Like, if I wasn't here the day that Tommy's car got blown up, the day that Francesco died, and then all those locals were panicking and just driving trucks into the building, I don't think we would have known about that. And I'm just like, that's
Yeah,
insane. Like, to be here doing something like that, that's insane.
yeah.
And then
But
with
even
the
when
sheriff's
yeah,
department, Hell Week, it's just like, heard about
Mm-hmm.
that in passing. It was never like formally stated. And then deputies were on strike, and it's just like we don't have anyone at the town hall. Why? What's is is this like real? Like they're getting shot down so bad. Cadets are quitting like on the spot because they're just putting on the uniform and getting shot indiscriminately. And now deputies, we can't even have anyone for town hall. It's like that's a serious issue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I wish we knew about it because like maybe we could have helped mediate the situation. If they don't want to talk to a deputy, you guys came to town hall, talk to us. Tell what's the problem here.
Yeah, I get it. There's also, yeah, I guess I miss that, like, because when shit happens at City Hall, I hear about it, or when shit happens at PD, I hear about it, just because everybody talks in the hospital, and a lot of people end up here. So I guess I forget that City Hall might be left out of the loop sometimes.
Always.
Yeah, because if something happens at PD, usually somebody ends up here, and then they'll talk to me about it and be like, "Dude, you would never believe this shit just went down." Blah 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 blah. Or if something happens at City Hall and you guys end up here, then I usually hear about it too.
Yeah, we
Hell,
get it
even criminals end
last.
up here. Yeah, even
Yeah.
criminals end up here and they're like, "Man, you'll never guess what PD did." Like people talk here so much. Like it's really funny.
Yeah, we get it last. Like once frustrations have hit a boiling point. So why aren't you guys
Hmm.
doing something about this? This is what happened on this day with this department. It's just like we don't know. We have no idea this is happening to you. Like we're so sorry. And it just makes us feel
Hmm.
like, oh my god, we really should just leave the tower at some point and just like see what's going on around the city. Because how can you
Yep.
ensure the health and safety if you're just behind your desk all day?
Yeah, there's also like I don't like, even if people don't end up here, like I have eyes and ears of like people that like will stop by when they know I'm like, not that he rats or anything, but like Brooks tells me a lot of stuff, right? Over like on the PD side, and Gemma will tell me a lot of stuff. Um, so even if it's not like that, and I guess I do now realize that you guys are at the very end of that train of thought of like, oh, finding shit out. But trust me, I 100% understand, because half the time if I go like 3 or 4 days without like talking or seeing Ray, he'll like be like, "Oh, you missed this and this," and I was like, "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" Like you
Yes.
need to let me know shit when it happens.
My current like after making sure that the lifeguards are okay, the act has been passed along, so you and George are both looking at it. Everything about businesses has to be completely like not even done over, just started. There's nothing in the Constitution that backs up the SBA, anything that it does, the business licenses that we've been issuing. So now we're at the point. So, what happens if someone doesn't get a business license? Absolutely nothing. You can't enforce these. Oh my god. Can we get something in the penal code? No, because there's no literature. Oh, so now I have to go all the way back to the beginning and write it, like from scratch. Yay! Okay. So I'm
Hmm.
like, I really wish if the DOJ saw this, if you told us, because somebody would have stopped before we even issued the first license. Like, hold up, we skipped a very big step here.
Yeah, I think it just gets, if with the SBA being like a state-run agency and it's pretty much just the governor's side project kind of thing.
Yeah,
So it's hard to have. I don't even know how it works, to be honest. I just know it exists, and people go in there and they walk out with a business.
exactly. But there's nothing in the Constitution. So legally, if anyone pour out anything to court about a business, yeah, there's nothing in our state constitution about it. We can't prosecute or defend against this. You're gonna have to take your issue to SBA.
But does, mm, I guess I don't know if it has to be. Like, not everything has to be in the Constitution. A lot of stuff can be case law, where even if something is not expressly stated in the penal code or in the Constitution, um, like I was talking to Amber, right, with her new bill. Um, say somebody comes in here and I'm working on a patient who's in critical condition, and somebody interrupts me from doing that. Would that be involuntary or like involuntary manslaughter, or attempted manslaughter, right? or even undue stress and pain on somebody. You don't have to put that in a penal code, and you don't have to put that in the Constitution. What we would do is that person would have to sue, or the state could sue the perpetrator, go to a court, and then the judge would decide if this is a thing that should exist or not. It does not get added to the Constitution. It just becomes case law, kind of like Miranda versus Arizona is the case law for Miranda rights and being Mirandized. Before that happened, it was not stated in Constitution anywhere. It was not stated in penal code anywhere. It just became a case law where now that there's precedent for it, you can get sued if you don't do it. Um, and I think that's part of the DOJ that hasn't existed here yet is establishing case law. We just got to be careful not to put too much in the Constitution, I guess, is my main point. Like, if somebody has a problem with a business, let them take it to court and we'll figure it out there. It doesn't need to be in the Constitution yet, you know? That's what the court is for, is to figure out if it needs to be a case law, and they can decide from there.
So then, how do we justify the bit? Because right now, how do you know to apply for a business?
How do you know to apply for a business?
Yeah, like how do you know? Like it's all done by word of mouth. How do you know where you're supposed to pick up your business and alcohol license? Word of mouth. Like there's nothing about this, even though it's kind of like a government agency as well. That's the only way to get a business leased in this state.
Right, but every time they have business open, they post it. They post it. They say, "Hey, come mail us about these." It's on the bulletin board. People are who want to open it should always go to City Hall and be like, "Hey, I want to open a business," and you tell them to go to the SBA. Right? Like, I don't think it needs to be expressly stated in the Constitution, step by step process of, "Hey, you want to open a business, you need these steps to do it." Like, that's not what the Constitution's for. Um,
Oh no, not to
that's
like
yeah.
outline how you open the business, but like how this operates because top down it's so many moving factors just to get them to their license.
Well, so my question is, is the city issuing business licenses, or is it just the SBA?
It's only this it's the same way you have a contract to work statewide. City
Okay.
Hall has the contract to work statewide and issue these to business owners throughout the state. Now you see Pillbox is in the Constitution. Sheriffs are in the Constitution. This transaction, nowhere in the Constitution. And then if people wanted to argue the language, so what is defined as a business? Like, do we define it by transactional activity or only someone with a property?
Right, but the SBA is the Small Business Association. So any business should, in theory, go through them, not the city, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just so the city. What is the city issuing to people who want a business? Like, what is City Hall doing for people who want a business?
Oh, we can't do anything for the want the business, but after they get the business, they have to come to City Hall and get these business licenses. But let's say you wanted to get a business, you want to get maybe an ice cream parlor,
Mm-hmm.
and you own that business for about a month. Hey, so now we get leases from the SBA. We know that your business opened. Hey, so we see that you've had a business. You should come to City Hall and pick up a business license. Why? Because it's the law. Where does it state that? Like, I can tell you operating a business
Yeah.
without a license is illegal, but there's nothing that supports that. So you
Right,
can
but
never attach a fine or anything to it.
yeah, but here's the thing. Is that City Hall's job, or is that SBA's job to give them the license? I know SBA is leasing it, but can't they just roll it into like also getting the license when you're leasing the building from them?
They gave that job to City Hall.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they said
Yes,
this
they
is your
gave it to
problem.
us.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Then it should also be their job to say once you have the lease signed, go over to City Hall. Like, that's on them, I think, then rather than it needing to be expressly stated in the Constitution, I guess. I don't know. I'm a firm believer of like the Constitution is a living document and needs to be changed, but don't change it for small things. I don't know. That's the way I think about it, but not that this is necessarily like a quote unquote small thing, but still.
Oh no, because I've been doing my history on it. So things like the Business Revenue Department, Business Revenue Bureau, Small Business Compliance Act. I've been doing research.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very doable, like breaking down the process so everyone understands it, like who runs it and what constitutes as a business, where everyone should go, the process for applications, just to get it all legalized by the book so that way if someone is out of compliance, well, you're issuing me a fine for $500 for not having the license. You take it to court. It's who can argue the literature the best, and what can you argue if there is no literature? Like, it doesn't have a foundation to stand on.
Right, but I mean that's what most cases go to court about, right? I think you're looking at court cases in a criminal versus state process when realistically most civil cases are to establish a certain law. You have copyright cases and of course everything like that, but those copyright cases were not written into law until somebody said this guy is stealing my property. And then once that was decided, hey, you know what? You did steal that guy's property, but there's no law written on it. But I'm going to find for the defendant or for the complainant that they're correct. This person stole this person's property, and you owe them this amount, and then that is now a case law. And then the constitutional law and city law is based off of the case law, not the other way around.
So we should wait till someone wants to sue the mayor's office for trying to enforce licenses?
Yep.
Oh no, no. We want to avoid that. Because Chief
No,
Justice
you
literally
don't.
said he will not enforce like any kind of fines or penalties unless there's legislation to support this.
Right, but if you're fining people, then sure. But if you're talking about like establishing the law around how businesses operate in terms of if they even need a business license or if they are operating outside of the license they have, what constitutes the fine would need to be determined in court, not a document outside of court that is just the Chief Justice deciding what he wants to put on paper.
Oh, there's also the
And the
terms and
reason,
conditions that they agree to when they get the business and alcohol licenses.
right, exactly. So if there's already documentation on what is a license and what isn't a license, what's on your license, I think the breakdown is just the SBA has to tell people, go get a bit, all right, we're giving you the lease. You own the building. You need to go to the city and city hall to get a license. Right. So think about it this way: the driver's license, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the driver's license is having a driver's license in the Constitution?
Oh, you mean like the DMV?
Yeah. Is having your car registered or having insurance or having a license in the Constitution?
No, actually, it's not. They should have literature for that.
No, because it's in the penal code.
Yeah,
Not
so
having
they
a driver's
totally.
license, not having a, but the penal code is separate from the Constitution. So all you have to do is in the penal code have it as a infraction of operating a business without a license and have it be a fine.
We
It
tried
doesn't have
that.
to be in the Constitution.
We tried. He wants an act that supports it. I don't know. Maybe it's because the DMV, it's just always been around. Everyone understands how it works. But the SBA, they just started up this year or something. So he wants literature supporting their existence.
Right, but we operated as a city without the DMV being functional for 2 months.
Yeah,
And then
that's
the
a,
DMV came in and everybody was like, oh, I have to get my license now. And everyone went and got a license because they knew they would be fined if they didn't. And they got pulled over. It's not in the Constitution. It's penal code shit. I don't know. I really do like the Chief Justice. This is not me talking shit against him, but not everything needs to be in the Constitution. Let shit happen. Let shit get figured out for people for themselves, I guess, rather than like. So think about like. Okay, so I have SOPs, right?
Hmm.
If I wanted, I could have those SOPs be 48 pages long, going over every single thing that could ever happen, ever, if I wanted to sit down and
It's
do
a
it.
nightmare.
Or I could make SOPs that are easily to digest, easy to read, easy to digest, cover all the basic points, overviews and everything like that, and have them be 10 pages and go from there. And if something really bad happens, since the SOP is a living document, I can change the SOP and, fix it to where that doesn't happen again. That's how the Constitution should be. It should be an overview of the basics, all the details and shit get hammered out later.
I'm gonna ask him about the DMV thing because it seems like some of them they either have the penal code and they add the legislation later, or they have the legislation. Okay, now let's add a fine to it in the penal code.
Right, but think about what a state constitution is, and then think about what you can be fined for doing. Um, let's say I litter, right? I throw my trash on the ground, a cop sees me and he fines me $50 for littering. That's not in the Constitution anywhere, right? So there has to be charges and stuff in the penal code that are not covered in the Constitution. The Constitution establishes rights, not laws, I guess is the best way to say it. Legislation is different, but that's
Oh no,
not
I
in the
found it.
Constitution. That's in state legislation.
The DMV is in there. Public Laws 013.
In the state constitution?
Uh huh.
All right.
Licensure, inspection, registration, insurance.
All right. Well, I'm wrong then. That's fine.
I was just
That was
like,
just my like that was my understanding is like legislation and the Constitution are two different things. So there should be like city legislation, right?
mm-hmm.
And keep track of that and what you guys pass, but not everything you pass gets added to the Constitution, right?
No, he's trying to have the council members understand that not everything needs to be added.
Right. So that's kind of the thing is you can pass a law about it, you can pass legislation about it. That doesn't mean it needs to be in the Constitution about it. So if you guys want to pass something establishing business licenses, then absolutely, but it doesn't need to go in the Constitution.
Oh no, because it's a statewide, so it doesn't go through council. That's why, like, literally, when they wanted us to start issuing business licenses, just you guys start doing it. So as soon as we had the license document application all drafted, just started issuing them.
Mm-hmm.
But now we ran into this problem.
Right, but so here's the thing: if you guys establish it that City of Los Santos controls the whole state in the Constitution, you're gonna have to change it later if Blaine County ever gets its own council, right?
Oh no, state of San Andreas. That's how it's going. It's same as DMV. These are statewide. Everyone respects it. It's under the governor's
right,
office, so that's why it's covered.
right, but the statewide business license, yes, everyone in the state needs a business license,
Mm-hmm.
but currently the City of Los Santos is issuing licenses for the entire state. That may not always be the case. Is my point.
Oh, so you mean like when Blaine County? Well, yeah, that part will need tweaking. But that's the Chief Justice's job. As long as I write him his legislation, that's all he asks for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was even supposed to do bills. I had to. Do you know how far I had to dig to find this document?
I know. Trust me, I'm well aware. Welcome to being a deputy. When I was deputy Pillbox, I had so much shit that I was like, "Oh, this is my job. This is my job now."
Like,
And I do the
so
same thing to
confusing.
Jessie.
Yeah.
Things I don't want to do, I pass off to her.
Hey, I told the mayor. He's just like, what? There's a foundational issue? I'm like, do you know that we've been issuing licenses and we cannot enforce it at all? Nothing? So now I gotta write up a whole document. That's fun, because originally it was Robert, but then when the Chief Justice told him no, and then he explained it, you need to write a whole act. Yeah, so I'm taking point on it, and he's gonna give me some critiques.
All right. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm just, my opinion on it would be it doesn't need to be in the Constitution, but like I said, I could be wrong. It's fine.
I mean, if he wants it, he's got. And I also think it might be good if the business licenses expire. The current ones, no expiration date. That's so bizarre.
Well, so that's fine because the business leases can expire. And then once they expire, then obviously without a business lease, you can't have a business. So
Yeah, so you don't own the property anymore, but let's say, because I like to make posters.
yeah, I mean,
I got a
the
lease, so I
business
got a nice little storefront, and I got my license. Okay, I don't own the property anymore. I can still make money. You can still come to me.
under the table.
No, I still have the license. As long as I got the
No,
license,
because
I can still operate in transactional activity.
so no, so if you go to the SBA and you get a lease for the building, they are also leasing you the business itself. So say the creamery, right? Say you don't make your payments on it, or for some reason you want to give it up.
Mhm.
You're not just giving up the land it's on or the building itself. You're giving up the intellectual property, you're giving up the name, you're giving up everything back to the SBA to give to the next person.
Oh, see, that's when you can ask to make an amendment to your license. Like someone tried to move
Mm-hmm.
properties, you can change the name. And that's why mine doesn't say Sunday Post. It's Kelly Cat's Creamery. That's my name. I came up with it.
Right. Well, yeah, the name might not, but like the way the business leases work, right? You are leasing the business and the property. So if you fail to pay or you are take a long enough vacation and it defaults, then the business goes back to the SBA, not just the property.
Yeah. So I'm still licensed to sell ice cream. I just do not have the means anymore because it's just like, how are you going to sell ice cream if you don't have the store? You don't have any of your equipment.
But I mean, you're technically you have a business license for it, but I do feel like you could get in trouble. It would be not in your best interest to do that, and the state would probably get involved.
So with my business, I have an ice cream truck. So if the truck I keep, if it's my personal property, then I could probably still sell ice cream. But if it goes back with the building, that's so sad because then yeah, no means to make ice cream.
Mm. I think it would, unless you bought it yourself. If it came with the building, then it's state property.
Yeah, see that should be listed so people understand like the dual ownership. Because it's
Yeah,
not
you don't
private
have to.
until you own that. Like
Yeah,
a lot of
you don't
people aren't
have
gonna
to
lease it.
own. Well, you'll never own the business outright, right? Like that's just the way the SBA works. But I think I could be wrong because I'm not 100% sure how they work. Um, so say that somebody like for your putting the expiration date on the licenses, like I'm not opposed to that by any means, but all you could do is say on your license is null and void if the lease is pulled. If you lose the business lease, then you lose the business license as well.
That
You
should
can
be
just tie
in
them
there.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
So it doesn't need to be an expiration date specifically of like every 6 months you have to pay for a business license or apply for a business license. It can just be if the SBA determines that or whatever criteria they have, right? To pull the business from you, then you're or the property from you, then the business's license is revoked as well.
Honestly, I was thinking of it in a way like, A, it brings money to the state, and then B, why do you get your car registered every year?
Yeah, no, I mean that's fine too. It's
Yeah.
just
Make sure it's like in compliance. If we say it never expires, and then let's say it operates the same way City Hall and the other government agencies do, like we never talk to each other. So someone
mm-hmm.
could have a business that has long fallen out of compliance, but no one ever goes there to check up on it. So they're continuing to operate until someone comes and say, "Hey, have you actually checked on this business?"
I think that's okay though. Like I think that's part of it, right? That's why the SBA has employee or will have employees outside of just Mrs. Smith up there, the lieutenant governor. They're gonna have other employees that go around and check businesses as well soon. So,
Also, since they gave us the permission to like look after these, I tried to like divide up City Hall, kind of like how you guys have departments. Like City Hall is just like we hire reception, we hire security, and that's pretty much it. So now we have finance that handles business licenses, alcohol licenses, and permits. Communications, so someone that would help with public events. Public information specialists and press secretaries, because now Weasel News is back in town.
hmm
We have an administration department, so people who are at the front desk and they're responsible for like communications with the public and making sure that mail gets out in a timely manner. And health and safety, so security and custodian work. So I think it would like flow a lot better if people knew where they are. And because right now when I got hired, I literally just did whatever I was needed to do, which was kind of like everything. If people needed me to like get money for an event, I did that. If people needed me to send letters, I did that. Pick up
hmm
deliveries, act as receptionist, like so I kind of did everything.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the departments are great, to split up, but I think you're gonna have for a little while you're gonna have to have people that are working like two of them, or three of
Yeah.
them even
Oh yeah.
to like cover until you guys get staffed all the way up, kind of thing. Yeah.
I just think maybe it might help people if they feel like a little bit more focused. Like I understand what I'm doing. I'm working business licenses, not six people came in to ask me questions. I'm like, okay, so can y'all just stand in the line? Now I have to try to answer every single one of you. It's just like, no,
hmm
everything's not on you. You don't have to feel that way.
No, it's good.
I've never done so much writing in my life.
It's the worst part of the job is the paperwork. It's the worst part of any job. There are times where I'm writing so many medical reports that my eyes start to like get fuzzy, and I'm like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, like last time I talked to you, you told me like Pillbox is private. I was just like, huh? So I actually went through and I read the entire medical act. I was just like, what's wrong with me?
It's like a, it's
That's what I
just
learned about the
easiest.
government
Yeah.
network. I was just like, oh, there it
hmm
is. Okay, so it is a government agency. And then there are all these things about it. So when you say like it's private, it's just like, it means it's so if a third party came in here and they asked for my medical records, doctor's discretion. If the sheriff just
hmm
wanted to come in here how they wanted access to my files, it's just like, no, no, wait, you can't just take that. You have to fill out the proper forms.
Right. Yeah. So you're the documentation is owned by the hospital, not the government, essentially. Um, and it's just easier to tell people that it's private versus like government because it's hard to tell people that like state government is separate from city government and what they want. Yeah, so half the time it just defaults to being like, this is how we operate, on paper. And I've discussed it over and over with the governor about it, and he agrees with my like quote unquote definition of it. But when it comes down like the Constitution, the way it's written, also, yeah,
Yeah. I
the
think that's where the
Constitution gives
confusion
us.
is. They should change it from
hmm
the Los Santos Medical Department to the San
Yes.
Andreas. Because once they see city, that's what I thought. I was just like, wait, so it's a city hospital?
Yes.
No, they operate statewide. I was just like, shouldn't it say San Andreas? Because it
I
even
agree,
says,
but I didn't write the Constitution, so.
I'll tell him. I'll tell him, like, could you just change that one thing so then it makes sense? Because, we don't have, like, a Blaine County or a Polito hospital, so, and it's all one network. So even
Well, we
if
do
they
have
did,
a Polito hospital that I operate. We just don't staff it because I don't have enough people.
yeah,
But
so even if,
I
yeah,
can take people up to Polito and treat them there, you know, without breaking any laws. And our or like Sandy, I think they're going to build a hospital out there at some point, you know. Um, but yeah, it's a
they'd still be in that network.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, so I think just calling it the San Andreas Medical Department, there you go. No confusion there.
yeah. I can definitely see how that gets definitely confusing. I mean, hell, I'll be honest. Half the time, I forget that it's the state of San Andreas and the city of Los Santos, and I flip them. I flip them all the damn time, um, just in my own brain. But yeah, and what it essentially boils down to is the way it operates for the director of Pillbox. Um, Even though we are in the Constitution as like the network and everything like that, when it comes to who gets medical licenses, it's a private decision. When it comes to medical records, it's a private decision. When it comes to um, hell, I can assign fines to people. It's in the Constitution that I can fine people. So that's a private decision as well. I can set up my own safety and rules and regulations on conduct in the hospital, right? Without government approval. Like that's all it means. And that's why it's like easier just to tell people that we are kind of operating as a private hospital. It gives them the better understanding of the government has some jurisdiction over the hospital, but not what happens inside the hospital necessarily, if that makes sense.
No, because it makes sense why your elections are private. It's just people cannot vote who's most medically equipped. But when it
Exactly.
comes to
Yeah.
the sheriffs, high command, it even says on their flyers, here's a vest, here's a gun, hit the streets. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like once you get to high command, you would trust that they have enough training. All of them have enough training to be trusted as leader of their department. But it's
Yep.
just like, no, you need schooling, you need training, like, you need all of that. Someone with training but no medical license, there's no way you can be the director.
Pretty much. I did put it like I did help write part of the Constitution for Pillbox and like the director elections. Um, Prior to me helping rewrite it, it was doctors only. So I did change it to be EMTs can be as long as they are deputy director for one term prior to the election. So that opens the avenue of EMTs being director as well if we get to that point, you know, where one of them really wants it because they know enough to be able to hire doctors by that point. And being a deputy director, they're already doing a lot of stuff under the direction of the director. So
Yeah. So just like
um,
me, they're learning a lot about how the city moves and what's needed to keep it functioning.
exactly, like you know, prior to this term, you probably wouldn't have felt comfortable being a mayor. After this term, you might have enough experience under your belt to run for mayor. You know what I mean? Like this is the same thing.
Yeah, I would have never considered it, but it sounds like I'm getting the training wheels. Because it's just like, hey, we need this act. Like, your businesses are stuck if you don't do it. So I was like, oh, okay. I, I'll try.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff in the Constitution, um, and I know there's last time I blacklisted some people, they got very upset and they said you're not allowed to do that. And I'm like, you better check yourself because I am.
See, that's like before I said, like, as soon as you said private, I was just like, huh? Why don't you read the Constitution before you argue? Like, that's the best thing that you can do. Read the Constitution and then come back
Yeah,
now on the same level and footing.
yeah. You know, people being like, well, your SOPs don't say that. Nope, doesn't have to.
No, because
Because it's
that's
not
just
an SOP thing. It's a director and deputy director's decision. I don't need to put that in an SOP. It's my private decision to blacklist people for the safety of my employees. And that is granted to me by the Constitution.
yeah. If the Constitution says it, that's statewide.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that one line, Los Santos Medical Department, because I thought the same thing about the sheriffs because it said Los Santos County, but they're statewide. Okay, so what
Yeah.
if sheriffs pop up in Blaine County? That's not the Los Santos County Sheriff's Department. That's the Blaine County Sheriff's Department.
Yep.
Yes, I was like, it gets very confusing. They should just be the San Andreas Sheriff's Department, and then you understand they're statewide.
Yeah, but SASD sounds bad. Doesn't sound as good as LSSD.
But if you forget a S, then it's a drug.
It's true. But if you forget an S in the other one, it's just sad.
I never thought of it without that other S. It is sad. So you can't call it the San Andreas County, because I noticed that they put that on their hiring flyer, the Los Santos County Sheriff's Office. Because I was just like, what is that act? I've never seen them use that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably they asked somebody to make it for them or something. One of the deputies, they were like, "Hey, make us this flyer." One of the deputies made it and just added that in or something. I don't know.
Hey, I made the flyer.
You made it?
Yeah, it's no, it's the little post-it that they put on top of it. So it
Right,
translates
right,
as
right.
Los
Yeah.
Santos Sheriff's Department, but the little post-it they stick on top of it says Los Santos County Sheriff's Office. I
Yeah,
was just
the
like,
the
huh?
title of the bulletin. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That makes some more sense then. I was like, hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I didn't even know that they call themselves that. I would have never thought of that. But yeah, I like making flyers. So whenever I'm not doing legislation, I'm making flyers.
Well, there you go. It's always nice to have like a little side project thing.
Oh yeah, I learned how to do it at Gash. Well, technically before Gash, but it came in handy for like fire sales and stuff.
Oh, okay. That
They
makes
love
sense.
they love it at City Hall because like if they ever need a meeting, got it. Event, got it. Inauguration type thing. I'm like, okay. But political flyers are kind of hard.
Oh yeah, for like an actual candidate.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can't use as many crazy colors. It's got to look a little formal. Just like when I learned to help with the events, you don't call it party planning, you call it event planning. It's just like, what's the difference? One's politically
Yep.
appropriate. I'm like,
This is
oh,
true. One has a connotation of alcohol and fun. The other one has a connotation of alcohol and professionalism.
the Easter egg hunt was fun.
Oh yeah, did that go all right?
It went so good. People already want to do it again.
But it's not Easter.
Uh, I've already repackaged it, so it's gonna be like a seashell hunt.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, so they're like different locations. So maybe take them to the beach this time because they had like a nice boxy area around the park, running through alleyways, up and down streets. It was. I did not think that they would find 100 eggs in under an hour.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
Very. Because it took so long to get it, like coordinate with all the different businesses, get the prizes, hide them in the eggs. Like, Killian, he started by himself, but Aaron jumped in to help him. He wound up with 30 eggs.
Damn.
And most of the prizes. I was just like, he even won the lawnmower.
Nice.
Everyone wanted that lawnmower. And then all the businesses chipped in. So, like, some places they offered a tab. The hunting club, they offered like a Manchez. Me and Burger Shot, so you can get free food now and you get to name an item on the menu for a week. So people had like a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do after seashells. I'm just like, what else can you pick up in abundance?
Rocks. The rock hunt.
Ooh, yeah, I can take that to. Yeah, it's, the permits are statewide, so can take them up to Sandy. I think they would love the attention up there.
Yeah, or even put it in
That
what's that
mining
area like?
place?
No, what's just north of Sandy? That
Polito?
like farming community. No.
Oh, the one where the farmer's market is.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of that. I don't know. But that area
Grapeseed.
too. Grapeseed, there you go. Yeah. Or you could put it in the quarry. Yeah. The diamond hunt. Put it in the quarry. Make it have like fake diamonds
Yeah, it would be
that
awful
you
to
like
send a
crack
bunch of
open.
people
Yeah.
in there with like dynamite. If you find a real diamond, you'll get like something extra, and then they cause a cave in.
There you go. That's fine.
Too many people lighting off dynamite at one time.
That's fine. That's job security for me.
Oh, how do you get the rocks out, like to clear the entrance?
More dynamite.
Oh, that's okay. A little dynamite caused the problem. What could a bit more? That's not gonna hurt anyone. Like it's the
Yeah,
only way to get you
exactly.
guys out.
Yep. Stand back.
What if a rock fell on them?
That sucks. Cover your ears, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a cave rescue guy. I don't know how that works. I'm just doing my best. I can't dig it out. Can't do it with a shovel.
Maybe you should add cave rescue. They have to learn how to drive up the mountain. I'm surprised there
Mm,
have not been more mining related injuries, considering you have to like light some dynamite and then duck for cover.
because I don't think anybody goes over there. I don't think anybody does that. Everybody's too busy hunting or trucking.
Oh, the lawyers definitely did.
Oh, they went mining?
Mm-hmm. I have a
Huh, nice.
locker full of jewels that can attest to that.
Nice. You just sell it to the guy up there or something?
I
Or
don't know
take
what.
it to the pawn shop? I don't know.
Oh, see, I don't know what they did. I kept it, and so I can take it to the jewelers, and then I get like necklaces and stuff.
Right. I mean, that's what should happen, but
Yes. I tried to go to the pawn shop. I don't know why the door was open, but they said, yeah, come back at 9 a.m. I was like, why are you open then? That doesn't make any sense.
they were on break or something. I don't know.
Till 9 a.m.?
I guess.
She might as well just put up the close sign.
That's a lot of work. Those people are lazy.
I'm seeing that.
Or they really just like to yell at people.
Or to see, like, the hopefulness disappear from their face. This is like, yay, they came in so hopeful, about to sell all their goodies, make some quick cash. No, come back at 9 a.m.
There you go.
They sound evil.
I mean, they run a pawn shop. What do you expect? They take money, they undersell people their own items, and then force them to pay them more to get them back. It's not exactly a philanthropist job.
They're so evil. That's one of the first places I'm going to go around to make sure they have the new business license.
There you go. All right. Think I'm going to call it night. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, absolutely no calls.
Yep.
Yeah, the
But,
Q
all right, it
word
was fun
doesn't
talking to
work.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
I'll see you around.
Night. I learned so much. Dr. Dakota is actually great to talk to. And he's down for the meetings. Like, let's just, meet up once a week. Little update report. Perfect. That's all I wanted. Yay! Put my headphones. Okay. That's not a Kelly strut. Very nice highway.